On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
With the Venmo debit card, you can Venmo everything. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit venmo.me/debit to learn more. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily. If you want to know if someone is worth your time, use the Ted Lasso Curiosity Rule by Charlie Brown of simpleandstraightforward.substack.com. Good TV scenes are, in their essence, well-observed reflections of real life. Like when Ted Lasso, the lovable Midwestern football coach on Apple TV's show of the same name, is challenged to a darts match with the show's baddie, Rupert, who assumes that he can't play. Rupert assumed wrong. Just before he hits the target that wins him the game, Ted comes out with this little monologue. Quote, "Guys have underestimated me my entire life. And for years, I never understood why. It used to really bother me. Then one day, I was driving my little boy to school, and I saw this quote by Walt Whitman. It said, 'Be curious, not judgmental.' I like that. So I get back in my car, and it hits me. All of them fellas that used to belittle me, not a single one of them were curious. They thought they had everything all figured out, so they judged everything, and they judged everyone. And I realized that their underestimating of me, who I was, had nothing to do with it. Because if they were curious, they would have asked questions. Questions like, 'Have you played a lot of darts, Ted?' Which I would have answered, 'Yes, sir, I have.'" End quote. Be curious, not judgmental. I call it the Ted Lasso rule. If you want a quick way to determine if someone is worth your time, are they curious? Do they ask you questions? If not, are they worth even getting to know? When was the last time someone really asked you a question? I spend a lot of time meeting new people, and it's amazing how few of them will ask even the most basic of questions. That would be fine if they skipped the small talk in favor of something meatier, but they don't. They skip it in favor of talking about themselves. I once asked someone what they did, in which I got a 20-minute breakdown of their very boring job. I sat next to someone at a lunch for over an hour, and they didn't even ask me so much as my name. Whereas I know who they are, where they live, who their family is, and their very deep opinions on ChatGPT, travel, and the British parliamentary system. They weren't especially boring, but I didn't want to spend any more time with them than I already had, because they didn't pass the Ted Lasso curiosity rule. They never asked questions. I suspect that most of these curiosity-free people underestimate me and think I'm rather dull. In fact, I know they do. Whereas in reality, it's exactly what Ted says. They're the ones missing out because they're not being curious. The best people are definitely curious, and life is too short to hang with anything but the best. The most curious people I know are the most interesting. There's my friend Paul, a journalist who has lived or traveled in nearly 100 countries, from Rwanda during the 1994 genocide to Russia, where he was arrested in St. Petersburg for wearing nothing but a dressing gown. There's my friend Vaughn, whose curiosity has led him down career paths that he could only dream about, from Google to consulting for a large pizza franchise, just because he was super curious about pizza and made a bunch in his spare time. Then there are my friends Steve Sensorensky and Yu-Ming Lee and Rocco Pendola, and my partner, Sam Dixon Brown, all of whom are intensely curious, which helps them all write banging articles. These are the people who pass the Ted Lasso curiosity rule. These are the people I want to hang out with. They're the ones who are not only leading interesting lives, but are interesting to talk to. And they're the ones that are getting the most out of their conversations, because they are simultaneously learning something new, whilst also making the other person feel good about themselves. It's literally a win-win situation for everyone involved. So, why aren't we more curious? Curiosity has been buried by ego. According to Forbes, you can only foster curiosity with a hefty dose of humility. You've got to be okay with not being the expert. And that is where many people fall down, because it's scary to admit you lack knowledge. Somehow we've associated it with weakness. Our modern world doesn't make this any easier. The likes of TikTok, the Gram, and Twitter thrive on us putting our own content into the world. Social media has made us ego monsters, massaging our evolutionary need for acceptance and dopamine. We're so used to putting ourselves at the center of our world that we forget to ask about anyone else's world. And whilst I would love to try and change the whole world's mind on being curious, I fear we're a long way down that rabbit hole. Instead, I respect my time. Your time is worth more than curiosity-free people tell you it is. Although curiosity-free people might not see it this way, when you engage with them, their actions say, "You are not worth my time. You are not important enough. You are not as interesting as me." That's bull. If you've got this far into this article, then you likely are interesting and worth talking to. That's why I stick by the Ted Lasso curiosity rule. I don't want to hang out with people who are not curious, and I suspect that you don't want to either. It's boring. It can make you feel like a pile of doo-doo, and it's no good for anyone other than perhaps the other person's ego. Thankfully, curious people still exist. They're hanging out all over the world. You probably know a few already. So the next time you meet someone, take a moment to reflect afterward and ask yourself, did they meet the Ted Lasso curiosity rule? If not, they're out. You just listened to the post titled, "If you want to know if someone is worth your time, use the Ted Lasso curiosity rule," by Charlie Brown of simpleandstraightforward.substack.com.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
Summer's here, and Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From beach days and weddings to weekend getaways and your everyday wardrobe. Discover stylish options under $100 from tons of your favorite brands like Mango, Skims, Princess Polly, and Madewell. It's easy too with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Shop today in stores, online at Nordstrom.com, or download the Nordstrom app.
Curiosity is such a wonderful trait in people, isn't it? It's wonderful, but it's also overlooked, unfortunately. As Charlie alluded to, it's really easy to be blind to curiosity when, we get so amped up about talking about ourselves. We often forget how nice it can be to both receive and give questions. But at the same time, I encourage anyone listening today to not be judgmental of what appears to be a lack of curiosity. There are many reasons that one might not be asking questions. Perhaps they're in a rush. Perhaps it's a very bad day for them. Perhaps they really struggle with shyness and socializing, in a way that's mindful of others when they feel so unsafe themselves. Therefore, in an effort to sharpen one's own curiosity, so you and your curiosity, we might remain curious regardless of what we're receiving from the other person, and make that curiosity separate from whether or not we want to keep those other people in our lives. So remaining curious and non-judgmental towards people we perceive to be not curious, even if that means not making time to see them or actually building relationships with them. Contemplate that this weekend, folks. I'll leave it there for now, but I really appreciate you being here as always. I look forward to sharing more of Charlie's work with you, and I'll talk with you again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.